Hey, everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Drunkard's Walk, or perhaps a boring episode. We haven't recorded it yet, so we couldn't possibly assign an accurate adjective. And I won't be thrilling and or boring you by myself. Alongside me is my delightful co-host, Matt Hartman.
And here I am, excited to potentially bore you for an entire, what do we say, hour?
I mean, I feel like if it goes an hour, then we're definitely boring them.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. It is impossible to see the future, Jethro. And boy, do I ever know that is true. Hello.
Hey there. So part of the excitement is navigating my parents' suboptimal internet connection.
I see. Well, I was just talking about the fact that I knew that you couldn't see the future.
How do you know that?
Well, because I traveled through time just recently. See, this friend of mine is a weird scientist, crazy scientist, and he built a time machine. Wait a minute. I feel like I've already said this before.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this feels like the same thing that I've talked about before, only slightly different. Like it's kind of a little bit more futuristic, but it's just the same thing happening again. I mean, it's going to be just as entertaining, and there'll probably be Pepsi involved. But I feel like I've said this before. Do you remember anything like this?
I mean, I feel like this is the second or third iteration of you having these kind of zany adventures.
Well, it wouldn't be the third because I mean that wouldn't fit with the theme that we're going for here. But I think it may be the second. I think you're right. I think it's the part two, if you will.
It certainly could be.
Yeah. Well, it's all my kids' fault. It's something had to be done about my kids. So
your kids.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh gosh.
But don't worry, we took care of it. Unfortunately, my friend is lost. I don't know. I mean, I received a letter from him from the past, so I assume that first of all, an A+ to Western Union, because they have just done a fantastic job. And I also have to say an A+ to Joe Flaherty, because he started working for Western Union. I didn't even realize that, and I think he's just done a great bang up job of making sure that people get the letters that they need from any time period. Well,
I guess SCTV wasn't paying the bills, so good on you, Joe Flaherty, for finding gainful employment. Well, exactly. Gosh, I mean, it's crazy that this is only the second time this has happened. I could have sworn that it might be the third, but I just hope, your time traveling adventures, eventually you get to go back to the future too.
Yeah.
And see.
Me too. Well, Jethro, I got to tell you, man, I am excited about this week because I haven't walked through Wikipedia for an entire week and I am missing it. My legs are getting tight. I need to stretch, man. I need to get from one topic to another only by clicking the links on the pages. I got to do it, man.
Well, you're in good luck here, buddy, because you're about to do that very thing with me.
What?
I know. You thought that we've done, many episodes of this, and then all of a sudden we're going to throw a curveball with an entirely new concept.
Sure.
Where we do a deep dive of some German punk band from the 80s. But no, we in fact are going to do the same thing we always do, which is to go through Wikipedia.
Sweet.
And we've got our starting point because it's where we ended last week at the exciting topic of phosphenes, which are those illusory things that you see despite them not being caused by light. Mm-hmm. But we need an ending point, don't we?
We do. We absolutely do, Jethro. It can't be done without one. And tell me, what ending point will we be going to?
Well, I'll tell you what, dear friend of mine. We have here, as our guest this week, special appearance via our typically nepotistic procedures, is my very own father, Mr. Daniel Edward Nolen Jr. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Matt.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Excellent. It's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard so much about you from Jethro. I'm sorry, from Jeff. I'm excited to actually get to speak with you.
He knows both of my names.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to.
He's like Alfred the Butler. He knows that I'm Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Wow. That's pretty
good deal.
Yeah.
So I happen to be in Arlington this week, and Dad has gracefully consented to being on the show. So that makes I think my wife, one of my brothers, and now my dad, who has been guests on the podcast,
and your daughter.
Oh, right, my daughter.
How soon we forget. She was just on here 2 weeks ago, man.
I think the probability of her hearing this episode and being offended is zero.
Pretty low. Yeah.
Traipsing around Spain at the moment. So she's not listening to her dad's podcast. I'll tell you that.
No.
So the good news is we got my dad here. So Dad, how do we know each other?
A very long time ago, you were conceived and born.
Wow. That you're going straight there. Okay. Yeah. Good deal.
That's a similar story to what your brother told.
Yeah, but Dad's got one up on him because he knew me before anybody else, I guess.
Before you knew yourself, right?
Indeed, or at least half of me. But
sure.
Let's not delve into that disturbing biological detail.
Nope.
So, Dad, you've known me my entire life, and much of yours. I guess most of yours now, because we're over halfway, over the halfway point. Fantastic. So good. I feel like I've known you long enough. I can form a solid opinion of you as a stand-up
good
guy.
I hope.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's very good indeed. I would ask you what you have going on, but you're retired, and I know it's not much at the moment.
Not much at the moment. I had a stroke, and so I'm. Jeff's been helping me get in and out of various places.
That's right. Mostly in jewel heists.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Dad normally was really big into jewel heists, and since the stroke, he's needed help. So we've been stealing diamonds and rubies and emeralds and such. And also just basically standing up and sitting down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Cool. So let's get straight to it. So as you know on the podcast, or maybe you don't, have you ever heard an episode of the podcast? Wow. He just for the listener, my dad said, "I don't think so," as he shook his head. Which makes it nearly unanimous in my family. Only my wife listens. Actually, no. A couple of my nieces have mentioned that they listen.
Oh.
So, and my brother. All right, never mind. Everybody in my family listens except for my dad.
And your daughter, who again you've forgotten.
Oh, I have a daughter. I should write that down somewhere. Yeah. Email me her name so I have something to put in the contact. You know what? I'd remember my daughter's name a lot more if she joined our Patreon.
Oh,
because I know the name of everyone who's joined our Patreon. So you too, listener, if you'd like me to remember your name, join our Patreon.
That's right. Yeah, just go to patreon.com/drunkardswalk podcast and pick your level. There's all sorts of different levels depending on how much you'd like to support us, and we appreciate anything you'd like to give. So there you go.
That's right. And we should add a drop down as to whether or not I am your father, so that we can just add that to our database and help me remember who I have sired.
That's a great idea.
All right. Good deal. So we need a destination. My dad's here, and he's got a destination for us today. Where are we going to be going today, Dad?
How about green eggs and ham?
Green Eggs and Ham, the famed Dr. Seuss book?
Yes.
Excellent. And why did you pick Green Eggs and Ham?
Well, I've had a lot of time on my hands since the stroke.
Yeah.
And I ran across that series on Netflix.
There's a series on Netflix?
One serving and the second serving.
Okay, nice.
Wow.
I did not know that they had made a TV show out of it.
I didn't either.
It's quite interesting.
Is it? What are your favorite? My dad has a rather what Matt, what you are to Star Wars and Star Trek, my father is to animation, and we'll watch cartoons with in an almost catatonic trance, and we fear approaching him and interrupting the spell that the cartoons have over him for fear of invoking his murderous rage.
Sure.
But he goes deep into cartoon appreciation mode when they're on. So what tell me more about this Netflix Green Eggs and Ham. What do you like about it?
Well, it's entertaining. I remember the book vaguely.
Yeah.
And they have done a good job, I think, animating, at least in the first serving. The second serving, Sam I Am is looking for his mother.
Oh boy.
Who turns out to be a spy.
Oh no.
Wait.
Spoiler alert. I don't remember that from the book.
No,
well,
yeah,
that wasn't in the book.
Okay.
It's in an edition.
Wow.
But it's typical Zeus.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. Wow. I think that book was originally written on a dare, like from Dr. Seuss's editor, who was like, you can't write a book that uses less than 50 words. And he did.
Yeah, I've heard that story. I don't know if that's true or not, or if that's one of those apocryphal type of things, but I have heard that as well.
Well, if apocryphal means true, then I'm sure it's apocryphal.
Doesn't, but okay. Sure.
So,
Well,
Matt,
that's awesome.
Do you have any questions about green eggs and ham?
No, I mean, I'm very, very familiar with it. Actually, my daughter, who is 5 years old, has spent the last year sort of learning to read, and that is one of the books that she actually read in front of her class because she knew how to read it, and so they were like, "Well, then why don't you read it to everybody?" And so she did. So I have a nice little connection to this book as well, and I enjoy it.
Very nice. I was skimming it just the other day, just because it's a classic. I feel like it's still as relevant today as it was when it was published.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of things. It may be more relevant now. Actually,
oh yeah, well, no,
based on the way society is and everything.
Yeah, it's about the universal family of man.
Sure.
And being a picky eater, which I'll never grow out of, fortunately.
Yeah.
Cool beans. All right. Yeah. Well, we've had our guest chat. We've got our destination. I feel like we're ready to roll.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Nolen, for this suggestion. I'm looking forward to trying to get from Phosphene.
You're welcome.
To green eggs and ham.
Sorry, by Mr. Nolen, you meant my father. And
I didn't mean you, okay. Jethro.
I'm just used to being treated with honor and dignity and addressed by my full title.
Not by me.
That's true. Well, you have a lot to learn. You're young.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
All right, then. Well, let's get started.
All right, let's go.
Let's do this. I just said, let's get started.
I know. So let's go. That's what I'm saying. Let's go. But before we go, let's not go. Let's stop a second.
All right, then.
Because we haven't done our predictions, and we haven't talked about I don't know if you may not be having a drink over there. I am having a drink. So I have to at least talk about that.
Oh, I'm having a drink already. What?
Oh, you are?
What drink,
okay.
What kind of drink are you having?
No. What are you having? Tell me what you're having.
So I am, and I'll actually turn on the video despite my lousy internet connection. I will briefly.
No, don't. I will lose it. All right, go ahead.
No, I want you to see it, Matt.
I
want you to see it, and I want the audio listener to be amazed by your audio reaction when I lift up what I am drinking, so that you can describe it to them in all of its glory.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. Whoa. Okay. I am impressed.
Thank you.
Jethro has a handle of Fireball cinnamon whiskey,
which I believe is that 1.75 liters?
Yes, 1.75 or 1.75 liters. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
I thought you would appreciate the visual element.
You're gonna work your way through that, are you?
It might take me 2 episodes, but my brother, one of my brothers, had stashed this here at the place, and I discovered it and am helping relieve him of the burden of drinking it.
Nice. Very nice. Well,
but you were also drinking. What are you having there?
I am. I'm drinking a bourbon to the surprise of no one, and I have been looking for this bourbon for a while. I was excited to find it. It is Wild Turkey Rare Breed. So it is a cask strength, 116 proof, and it's a tasty little beverage, I got to say.
All right, then. Mm-hmm. So we're going to make some progress tonight.
Oh, yeah, we are. Not necessarily in what we want to be doing, but we're going to make progress.
Yeah, we'll move in some kind of direction, which we will call forward arbitrarily. But good. You'd also mentioned guessing. We have to guess.
We do. And we are on Phosphenes, and we're going to green eggs and ham. So we've got to write down our predictions as to how many links we think that might take us.
And I am actually in my childhood bedroom right now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Because I'm staying at my parents' place. Yes. And I have been frantically trying to find a pen and a piece of paper with which to write down my prediction.
Yeah.
And so I'm scrambling through my desk, and actually the thing that I found to write with was a crayon.
Awesome. This is amazing. We got green eggs and ham from your dad. You are in your childhood bedroom using a crayon, probably from your childhood, right?
It's unlikely that I brought it here during my adulthood.
Well, I mean, it might have been put in there by somebody else over the years. You haven't been a child for a long time, so there's a chance that somebody went in there at some point and dropped a crayon in a desk. I mean, that's not impossible.
It's not impossible. It's just, it strains credulity.
Unlikely? Okay. All right. That sounds good. Well, I could go over to my childhood bedroom. It's where my daughter is sleeping right now. In the room next to me.
Which is even more strange, quite frankly.
But I will not find a crayon from my childhood in there because my furniture is long gone and has been gone for many, many years since my parents turned that room into a guest room. I don't even remember how long ago, but a very long time ago.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then I turned it into my daughter's room. And now here we are. Now it's now. Now we've reached now. So it's now.
We've reached now.
Yep.
It was then, but now it's now.
That's correct.
When does then become now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I see what you're doing, and I'm enjoying it.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Not everybody had the privilege of coming of age in the 1980s. So
I suppose that's true. Well, it is a fantastic film. Go ahead and check it out. I say it's a fantastic film. I haven't watched it in a long time. So there is that chance that, like many comedies from the 80s, it has aged poorly, but I hope not.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't like Spaceballs, I mean, that's why millennials are so angry, is because they didn't come of age in the 1980s, the world's last perfect decade.
Yeah, that sounds about right. The 90s weren't terrible, but it wasn't perfect. You're right.
They took Kurt Cobain from us in the 90s. Matt.
Wow. They did. Did
they? They did.
Okay.
Don't make me go down the whole conspiracy rabbit hole about
I never would. Oh, hey, down the rabbit hole. That's a thing we should do again sometime. But not now. Now should travel from Phosphene to green eggs and ham.
We should.
And I think that's a fun thing to do. So let's take a look at the Phosphene page here. There's a lot of stuff about eyes. For those that haven't listened to last week's episode or perhaps have forgotten, a phosphene is the phenomenon of seeing light without light entering the eye. And I want to point out, it says at the top here, seeing stars redirects here. And I think last week I asked, would this be like seeing stars? And I was told, no, that is definitely not the case. But it looks like it is actually.
What mean man said that?
I thought it was you.
Oh, that sounds like me. That sounds
okay. All right, yeah, that sounds good. Boy, there's a lot of cool stuff on here. Sneeze is on here, as is blowing of the nose. These are linked things.
Nice.
Braille is on here.
Transcranial magnetic stimulation.
Yes. Look at that. Wow. So there's a lot of stuff on here about obviously seeing things. There's hallucinogenic drugs are on here.
Yeah, that could be a route to get us there.
It might be. I feel like if Dr. Seuss didn't take any hallucinogenic drugs, then actually he didn't. Did he illustrate his books? No, I don't think he did. He did.
He did.
No,
100% he did.
He did, really?
100% he did.
I thought there was another illustrator.
If you tell me that Dr. Seuss did not illustrate his own books, yeah, I am going to have a psychotic break with reality, because my entire worldview is stitched together with the idea that one man, Dr. Seuss, did the writing and the drawing, because his drawings are so consistent from book to book. What
they are, but I have seen other books with those same drawings that aren't his.
Oh man, I'm about to have a psychotic break with reality.
But that doesn't mean that he didn't do the illustrating of those books, right? He could have maybe just done the illustrations of those, or perhaps somebody else just took his style and recreated it. I don't know. But you know where we're going to find out? On the Green Eggs and Ham page. So that's why we've got to get there.
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, I like the segue. We're not going to, it's not going to definitely say, well, I guess it could say illustrated.
It absolutely will say who illustrated that book on the little thing down the side, for sure.
Fair deuce.
Now, the other thing I want to point out is that there is a link at the top here. I mentioned that Seeing Stars redirects here. There's also a link to the Crazy Cat short Seeing Stars cartoon.
By Crazy Cat, spelled Krazykat.
Yeah. Now, this is as I mouse over it, a 1932 short animated film. I feel like that may be a pretty good way into these types of things that we're looking for here. What do you think of that?
Mm-hmm.
You like it? You don't like it? What do you think?
I had a very long ponderous silence. Was it long and ponderous because I was deeply thinking about what you just said, or did my internet cut out? We may never know.
Yeah, I was just going to cut that silence out, but now I'll leave it in.
No, it was a good 36 minutes silence. So if you're wondering why this episode is 19 hours,
all right, I'll cut 27 minutes out of it. Okay.
No, I do like the idea of the crazy cat, because then we're into animation and drawing, and 32 is like I don't know if that's when Seuss was active, but it's certainly around the time when he was active.
I think he was a little bit later, but I think that there's a good chance that that's the way to go. So I like it. Should we go to it? I mean, the only issue with it is it's going to probably be a very short page. Yeah,
but it could get us to cartoon.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty easily. Sure. Yeah, let's do it. Let's not Seeing Stars, the cartoon.
Seeing Stars,
distributed by Columbia Pictures.
Yeah, when you go to it, it actually, instead of cartoon being in parentheses, now film is in parentheses. So there you go. But we see it's the Charles Mintz Studio who produced it, and as you said, Columbia Pictures.
Directed by Manny Gould and Ben Harrison. Ben Harrison not linked. Manny Gould linked.
Yeah. What's the deal on that? I wonder. I do see there's a lot of references in here to like some classic comedy, like Laurel and Hardy, the Marx Brothers, Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Tom Mix is in here as well. Mm-hmm. Tom Mix. Harold Lloyd is on here. So there's a lot of talk of those types of things. But that's about it. And then there's all the Crazy Cat films linked at the bottom.
That's banana pants.
But that's about it. Minnie Mouse is linked on here. So that may be a way out of this.
Indeed.
Jimmy Durante. I'm trying to think of I know there are several animated Dr. Seuss kind of TV like half hour things from like back in the, let's call it the 60s, like How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But in addition to that, there's like, I think Horton Hears a Who, and there's a Lorax, animated thing. And so they animated a bunch of them, I guess is what I'm trying to get to here.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to think of is the only person I can think of from the Grinch Stole Christmas is Boris Karloff. I believe reads it and does like the voice of the Grinch. So I was hoping to see something that might link to him that would then get us into that. I don't see anything like that. Do you see anything like that?
I am not seeing anything like that off the top of my head.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think, but along those lines, like there were a lot of people who did Grinch-related, not Grinch-related, who did Seuss-related stuff. So Mike Myers did that Cat in the Hat movie.
Right.
Jim Carrey did the Grinch movie. So
right, later, possibly. I mean, there's Danny DeVito, I believe, is in the Lorax movie.
Is he?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of Grinch stuff, right? Benedict Cumberbatch does a Grinch movie as well. So
I don't think I knew that.
That's the one that's just called The Grinch, I think. Although it's the animated one called because I think the live action Jim Carrey one is called The Grinch also. Anyway, what about I think Minnie Mouse is the one that I like the best getting out of here because
why do you like Minnie Mouse?
Well, because it bridges the gap, right? So like Laurel and Hardy, the Marx Brothers, Jimmy Durante, these are all. Oh, actually, Jimmy Durante. I'll come back to that in a second. I was going to say these are all like older. They don't really come into the modern pop culture, whereas Minnie Mouse does. But Jimmy Durante does the narration in Frosty the Snowman.
He did indeed.
The animated Frosty the Snowman.
The Rankin and Bass.
Yeah. So I wonder, is there perhaps a Jimmy Durante route that gets us to the Grinch that then gets us into Dr. Seuss?
I mean, yes, there certainly is through the route you just articulated.
Yeah.
But is that route longer than it needs to be?
Very possibly.
And same thing with Minnie Mouse. Like Minnie Mouse is a whole, like, that's like I'm talking about Captain Kirk and you're talking about He-Man, and we're hoping that those universes overlap in some way.
I mean, they might somewhere, I would think. But okay, so you see something better then? Are you suggesting that you have a better idea going on here?
Well, so there's a lot of credits in the little box off to the right about seeing stars.
Uh-huh.
So I'm wondering if and these are names I don't know at all.
Mm-hmm.
But because they were active in animation during the era when Dr. Seuss was active, and a lot of his books were famously made into animated shows, I'd be shocked if one of these people or things listed over here doesn't connect us to Dr. Seuss in a real way.
Huh.
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, I guess my concern is that we don't know for certain. And I mean, certainly there are 1, 2, 3 names that are linked. It is very possible that those 3 people did not have anything to do with any of the animated Dr. Seuss films.
It's certainly possible, but I will say that this was during the golden age of animation.
Mm-hmm.
So these people were probably doing, and also I'll also point out that there are several names that are listed there that are not linked. So the ones that are going to have links are the ones that did a hell of a lot more work in animation. I'm going to bet.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is during the golden age of animation, then they're going to do stuff for Warner Brothers. They're going to do stuff for Columbia. They're going to do stuff for all sorts of folks. And they're likely going to be the types of non-famous people who worked on a gajillion movies. The guy with the most IMDb credits is not some famous actor. He's just some, day player who's just worked a shit ton.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm not saying no. I would suggest then, I mean, potentially we could just go into animated film, which takes us to animation, or Columbia Pictures. I mean, Columbia Pictures, one of those Grinch movies may very well be a Columbia picture. I certainly know they're not Disney. I think it might be some DreamWorks going on, but I mean, there might be Columbia Pictures. But if you want to go through a name, I have moused over a couple of these, and I would say that the one that I would go for would be Manny Gold, simply because it says he was an American animated cartoonist from the 1920s to the 1970s. So that definitely overlaps, versus Charles Mintz, and who says that between 1925 and 1939, he produced 370 cartoon shorts. And I don't think any of the Dr. Seuss animated stuff comes from before 1940.
No, I would agree with that. I will also say that Gould was listed as working for DePatie Freeling Enterprises. And I believe Friz Freeling was mixed up with Chuck Jones and that whole gang in terms of the golden age of the Bugs Bunny cartoons and whatnot. Yeah, I will also point out.
Yeah, I thought they were competitors of some kind, but sure, go ahead.
They might be. It's been, unlike my father, I have not dedicated a significant amount of my adult life into watching cartoons.
And
I will point out that one of the linked names is animation by Harry Love. And I just wanted to say the name Harry Love. It's a funny name. It's a quality gag laugh name.
It is. It's a gag laugh name for sure.
And he was an American animator, effects animator, director, producer, production coordinator, and writer, but it gives no years. So I'm inclined to agree with you that Manny Gould is the way to go.
And so you animated film, Columbia Pictures, you say too general, forget it. We're going specific. Is that what you're saying here?
Yeah, I like this. I like the specific for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's a bit more of an adventure since none of us has ever heard of Manny Gould.
Yeah, for sure.
And but yeah, Columbia Pictures, to what degree is animation even part of their story? Is it a very, very small part? Is it the majority of it?
Well, I'm saying one of those Seuss films could be a Columbia picture. Right. And I understand not every one of their films is going to be listed on the Columbia Picture page. I know you're going to say that.
Thank you for sharing me.
I get it.
Sharing me having to say that. Yeah.
But I would bet that there's at least links that would get us to them. Now, I understand that may not be the way to go. Green Eggs and Ham. For all we know, Columbia Pictures could produce the animated show Green Eggs and Ham. We just were told that there's an animated show. So, we don't know. But if you want to go to Manny Gould, I will go to Manny Gould.
Let's go to Manny Gould.
All right. Manny Gould it is. Emmanuel Gould. As you will see.
I call him Manny.
Sure. Why wouldn't you? You've never met him and never heard of him before now.
There we go.
So a writer and animator for Screen Gems. The American Film Production Company, a division of Sony Pictures. So there you go.
There you go. Oh my God.
What do you got?
Oh my God.
What are you seeing? What are you seeing?
Under later career and death,
yeah,
it mentions a number of things that he worked for during the DePatie Freeling Enterprises, where he would work on the Pink Panther, the Ant and the Aardvark, Tijuana Toads, and Dr. Seuss animated adaptations.
Oh my good Lord. I don't believe it. This is amazing.
This is incredible.
What are I've never heard of this man, and it turns out he worked on the Dr. Seuss animations?
Fantastic. That just goes to show that we give far too much credit to Dr. Seuss, because he's got a whole army of people behind him that have manufactured our beloved cultural memories.
Well, I mean, obviously we're going to Dr. Seuss. I mean, there's nothing else better
Absolutely.
on this, unless Green Eggs and Ham is on this page. Do you see it?
I'm not. I am looking at some of the earlier stuff. He did work for Warner Brothers, where he worked on Buckaroo Bugs, The Great Piggy Bank Robbery, and The Big Snooze. Sure. And these are all like during the mid 40s, back when, if you've ever seen like the Warner Brothers cartoons from the mid 40s, like there are some lovely ones. They're mostly a bit dated, but occasionally they'll just be crazy racist.
Yeah.
Like, especially during World War II.
I like, it says here, his scenes can be identified for his loose rubber hose-like animation. And rubber hose animation I've never heard of is a link preferred to the use of squash and stretch movements and strong acting, as well as overshooting. So there you go. Rubber hose animation. I'd never heard of it, but when you mouse over it, you look at it, you go, oh yeah, I know exactly what they're talking about. It's like that kind of weird... The limbs look like rubber hoses. I mean, that's all there is. So, okay.
There you go.
We are going to Dr. Seuss. Let's get there.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Dr. Seuss. And that is the page name, everybody. Dr. Seuss is the name of the page. It's not Theodore Seuss Geisel. It is just Dr. Seuss.
Although,
so there you go.
And there is a disambiguation, because apparently there's a physicist named Theo Geisel, which is not him.
Wow. I mean, I wonder if when was he born? That doesn't tell me. Oh, director at he is. So he's alive now. So I wonder if his parents named him that on purpose.
Yeah. So he is, by the way, back to the OG Dr. Seuss. He is a cartoonist and an illustrator, and an animator and a filmmaker. So yes, I'm guessing he did his drawings and such.
That is probably true. Well, Jethro, I got to tell you right now, I mean, I want to look at this page a little bit more, but I got to point out, Green Eggs and Ham is linked right here on the page.
Absolutely.
It lists several of his classic books that he wrote, and Green Eggs and Ham from 1960. There it is.
Well, we are honor bound to click on it rather than delaying.
But no, but I do believe we should delay for a second. I do want to look through this page, because there's some things on here I didn't know. Like, for instance, did you know that there's a children's special called Halloween is Grinch Night?
I had
1977 animated special.
I had no clue.
A prequel to the 1966 television special How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And how about the Grinch's The Cat in the Hat from 1982? Did you know that these things even existed?
I did not, but I would like to point out, because this is called Drunkard's Walk of the podcast, I would like to read a little bit about his early life. Geisel attended Dartmouth College, graduating in 1925. At Dartmouth, he joined the Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity and the humor magazine Dartmouth Jack-O-Lantern, eventually rising to the rank of editor-in-chief. While at Dartmouth, he was caught drinking gin with 9 friends in his room. Oh. At the time, the possession and consumption of alcohol was illegal under the prohibition laws, which remained in place between 1920 and 1933. As a result of this infraction, Dean Craven Laycock insisted that Geisel resign from all extracurricular activities, including Jack-O-Lantern.
Oh.
To continue working on the magazine without the administration's knowledge, Geisel began signing his work with a pen name Seuss. He was encouraged in his writings by a professor of rhetoric, Dr. W. Benfield Pressey, whom he described as a big inspiration for writing at Dartmouth. So Dr. Seuss was a pen name he came up with because he got caught drinking in college A scandal. Wow, that's amazing.
So, and well, here's something else. So if you go down to pen names and pronunciations, it said Geisel's most famous pen name is regularly pronounced Seuss, an anglicized pronunciation inconsistent with his German surname. The standard German pronunciation is Zeus. He himself noted that it rhymed with voice, his own pronunciation being Seuss. Alexander Lang, one of his collaborators at the Dartmouth Jack-o'-lantern, wrote of it, "You're wrong as the deuce, and you shouldn't rejoice. If you're calling him Seuss, he pronounces it Zeus."
That is amazing. Because my dad earlier, when he mentioned it, he called him Dr. Zeus.
Zeus, yes.
Yeah, he and if it hadn't been my dad, I would have ridiculed him to his face. But that just goes to show, even I am occasionally wrong about something.
But there's even more in here. For books that Geisel wrote and others illustrated, he uses the pen name Theo Lessig, starting with I wish that I had duck feet, published in 1965. Lessig is Geisel spelled backwards. Geisel also published one book under the name Rosetta Stone.
Nice.
The 1975 Because a Little Bug Went Ka-Choo, a collaboration with Michael K. Frith. Frith and Geisel chose the name in honor of Geisel's second wife, Audrey, whose maiden name was Stone. Rosetta Stone. Oh my God, this guy is amazing.
Nice.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I don't want to learn anything more about him because if there's anything bad, I don't want to know.
Oh yeah, he was a cannibal. We should like it would be.
And there it is.
It would be wrong of us to not acknowledge the thousands of children that Dr. Seuss ate and grilled and ate, and the ones he consumed raw.
So he was born on March 2nd, 1904 in Springfield, Massachusetts, and died September 24th, 1991 at the age of 87 in San Diego, California.
Wow.
Dr. Zeus, we miss you, buddy.
Yeah. And, another thing that the 90s took from us.
There you go.
Kurt Cobain and in fact, they probably rode across the river Styx together and could not find a single thing to talk about.
Well, they probably did a lot of rhyming.
A mulatto, an albino, a mosquito, my libido. I'm sure exactly. Dr. Seuss was like, yeah, you're welcome for the influence, Kurt Cobain.
All right, let's go to Green Eggs and Ham because we found it. We've done it. We're here.
We have, in fact.
Green Eggs and Ham, the 1960. For the Netflix series, see Green Eggs and Ham TV series, it says on here. Mm-hmm. But a children's book first published August 12th, 1960. And as of 2019, the book had sold 8 million copies worldwide.
That's good. That's respectable.
That is respectable. And you're right. It doesn't say anything about who illustrated it on the right-hand side. So well done to you. Probably because he illustrated it and they just were like, why would you even ask?
Why would anyone ever? Well, I'm just glad that I don't have to deconstruct my entire concept of reality to rebuild it around the idea that somebody other than Dr. Zeus. Although I guess the Dr. Zeus thing is a bit of a, it's not, I'm sorry, Dr. Zeus, it's never going to catch on. We as a society have decided to mispronounce your name.
That's correct. And I mean, many people did clearly from the beginning, or else they wouldn't even have written that little rhyme. So there you go. We've done it though.
Huzzah for us.
Yeah. Well done from Phosphene to Green Eggs and Ham. And I'll tell you what, Jethro, we did that in only 4 links. That's pretty good.
Out of town.
Yeah. Not our record for the season, but pretty darn close. We did have one that was 3. This one we got 4. So yeah. So what did you guess, buddy? How did you do on this one?
I'm going to have to share. Where's my video thing?
I don't know. Where's your video thing?
I'm going to again just to prove that I'm honest here. I'm going to show that I guessed 4.
What?
4 was my guess.
Son of a! Did you just write that down now after I said it?
No.
I guessed 5, Jethro.
I've written all the numbers 1 through 28 on random pieces of paper around my bedroom. And I just grabbed the winning number. That's what I did.
Well done. Well, I can't believe you guessed 4. That's I had no idea we'd get there that fast. I mean, I thought we'd get there quick, but not that quick. So
I feel like I've been overestimating us on the last few of these, and I believe you've been ahead until now. So I've needed to get a bit more aggressive and up my game.
Actually, we were tied going into tonight. It looks like. Wait, let me make sure. Let me count it again just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, we are tied now. We are tied at 6.
Whew.
We both have 6, and we are going into the final 2 episodes of the season. So we could end up in a tie again, as we have in the past, or we could not, which has always been the case, I guess. No, it's not always the case. Last season, you beat me very soundly. You were winning by week 3, I think, or something like that. Not possible mathematically, but still, it was very early.
I got cocky, and you've humbled me this season, Matt. You've made it a good fight, and
I've gotten lucky. I will say that you have more of them right on the nose, though. You have 4 right on the nose, and I only have 3. Mm-hmm. So well done that way. So you currently have the tiebreaker, because I think we're going to use that as a tiebreaker this season. So
I love it.
You have a chance of still winning even if we tie. Now, another thing I will say here, Jethro, is we got there so quickly. That this episode is a fairly short one. So do you have anything that you need to discuss? Anything that you want to talk about for the good people out there to give them a little bit more content to not make them feel cheated? Dave Foreman's listening.
Well, first of all, Dave Foreman, I love you. And
me too.
Don't horn in on my loving of Dave Foreman.
Me too. Ditto.
This is don't quote Patrick Swayze in Ghost. Anyway, Dave, I'll send you a secret encoded message, which you can use with your Drunkard's Walk decoder ring. I don't want Matt to jump in on it. No, I listen, this is fun and a good time. And I really appreciate that I was able to share it with my dad. You had your dad on, and I was very jealous.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Your dad gave us green eggs and ham. My dad gave us a disaster where hundreds of people died. So I think your dad's ahead right now.
If you ever have a chance to hang out with one of the Drunkard's Walk dads, just pick mine. That's all.
Yeah. It seems to make sense. I guess I could read green eggs and ham right now. Is that something we should do?
I feel like that'll keep the Drunkard's Walk law firm in sweet Billings.
Is that something? Is you're not allowed to read? That stuff's not in the public domain yet. 1960?
Oh God, no.
1960. God, no. I think how many years does it have to be? 100. You need 100.
Disney keeps changing the law so that Mickey Mouse never enters the public domain.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Matt, you could read Green Eggs and Ham in your house. You can read it to a mouse. You could read it on our cast. You could read it until the last. But I don't want you to read Green Eggs and Ham. I do not like it, Matt, the cat.
You're doing so well.
That's the best I could do on short notice and 1.75 liters of Fireball whiskey.
That was pretty good, actually. That was pretty good. I do want to say it definitely is not in the public domain. So folks, don't go trying to read this stuff over the air or something like that, because I don't want to get you in trouble just because of me. But
although we can read the knockoff Dr. Zeus blue omelet and chicken.
Oh, see, I've got I have the Canadian one because it's just called Canadian Bacon in that one. But it's obviously a Canadian publishing. It says Toronto in it, so yeah, so that's why it says Canadian Bacon on it. But that's the problem, right? That's the problem with international publishing, is that they change things just slightly, like the Philosopher's Stone instead of the Sorcerer's Stone, right? You start to get
and then they change it to the Rosetta Stone.
The Rosetta Stone. God, I think that is a fantastic. I wish that I had thought to use that as a pen name. Not that I write, but if I did, boy.
I love that. I also love Rosetta Stone as a hard-boiled lady detective's name. Because Stone is such a great great detective type last name to convey manliness and whatnot, and then Rosetta, obviously a woman's name.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I think that I'm going to start publishing some short stories, just a couple of sentences. That's it. They're just going to be with our heroine Rosetta Stone.
That's right.
Solving mysteries in less than a minute.
Yeah, either that or she can be high and she can be Rosetta Stoned.
I don't like that as much. I've never been a fan of the stoner comedy. I just don't.
That's because you don't get high. That's because you don't get high.
Yeah, but I feel like if you have to get high in order to appreciate something, then it's not very well done, right? It's like if I have to get drunk in order to appreciate something, then it's probably not very good.
Yeah, but you gotta loosen up, Matt.
Do I?
I mean, you do.
Huh.
You hold a lot of tension in your shoulders. And
oh my gosh, I have so much tension in my shoulders right now. I can't even talk about it because it's too much tension. I can't even move my jaw enough to speak about it.
There you go.
No one's going to believe that. No, this has been a blasty, and I really am glad that your dad came on, and I love the topic he gave us. I love that we got to learn more about Dr. Seuss or Zeus, and I look forward to next week going out of Green Eggs and Ham to who knows where we're going to go, Jethro.
Whoever our guest is next week. I'm running out of family members.
All right. Well, I'll start calling my aunts and uncles and see what happens.
Good deal.
Hey everybody, Matt Hartman here again for Drunkard's Walk. Thanks so much for listening again this week. A big thank you to Jesse L.E. for our theme music and Nick Jaramillo for his artwork. And again, a reminder to you that if you haven't had a chance to give us a rating or a review, that you can go ahead and do that on iTunes or wherever you're listening to your podcasts. We would really appreciate it. It really helps us get the word out there. Still no word on the Best of the Berg. I think we'll find that out in July or something like that. So it'll probably be season 7 before we tell you anything about that. And hopefully we will be back for season 7, but wait and see. We still have a couple more episodes here of season 6, so enjoy. We'll see you next week.